10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, that didn't go according to plan. At first we thought our TVC was heavily misaligned and that resulted in the not so good looking flight path. After a short inspection of our impact site, we realized that the TVC was not the faulty component in the whole setup.
We have imagined many possible worst case scenarios, but 2 motors exploding and 1 motor not firing definitely wasn't expected.
Caused by an internal production error, 2 of the 4 main engines directly exploded after ignition. The 5 engines that are mounted directly in the thrust vectoring control worked perfectly fine and completed their expected burn.
We've learned about many flaws in our design while building our last test vehicle, some of which are better segment connection system, optimized access to parts, bigger parachute cabin, optimized 3D printing of the parts, especially the motor mounts, better connection between the TVC and the motor mounting plate, now housing the D9P motors inside aluminium pipes, slight changes to the aft flip attachment points, now attaching all servos with the linkage stoppers to flaps the TVC.
Beside the new mechanical structure, the new version will be powered by a completely new flight computer. Instead of the old Teensy 4, we will use a new Teensy 4.1 because of the built-in SD card slot. And the possibility to solder and flash chip directly under the PCB from the Teensy 4.1. This allows us a faster data logging cycle, because we are dumping now all the data into the flash chip instead of the slow SD card. After the computer detects the landing, it will transferring the data to the SD card with a much lower speed. But one of the biggest improvements in the electronical system is a new power supply. In the old design we used 2 separate power supplies, one for the upper flaps in the flight computer itself and the other for the TVC and the bottom flaps. We used 9 volt block batteries in series to add up the voltage to 18 volts, which then converted back to 5 volts. Now we will use a hot swap for S LiPo to power the complete system. Instead of the single B&O 055, we will use now a combination of the B&O 055 and the MPU 6050. With both IMUs we can get better orientation data in ascent, but especially in descent.
Thank you all for following us on all the social media channels. We really appreciate your support and see you soon with updates to our next iteration of an 1 to 45 SpaceX Starship.